try to, okay, there we go. So now I'm recording, and then I'll see if I can figure out how to post it to Moodle.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what other questions do we have before we kind of dive into the math? Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to make sure. So on Moodle, there's nothing listed under each of the weeks because
No.
it's all on Open Math, right?
Right. Yeah.
Perfect. Just making sure I wasn't missing something there.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'll try to. My Open Math, it's hard to post links to My Open Math, but I will try to post the video, the Zoom video to My Open Math too. We'll see how that works out. I've never used Zoom recordings before, so we will see.
Okay. Thank you.
What else? Okay, so first week of probability and statistics is all about a bunch of definitions and about frequency tables. So hopefully you've had a chance, well, maybe not because I goofed up on the day, but let's see, I'm going to share my desktop so y'all can see the notes. So everyone can see the notes now? Or did I just, we can see the notes? All right, good. All right. So probability and statistics. I'm not going to read through all of these. I mean, you can read through them all and, you know, take the notes that you want to take. You can use all your notes and everything for tests and homework. So any notes that you take, you're allowed to use. If you want to print these out, you can use those. These are the slides that Wendy Lightheart uses in her videos, and she is really good. She's really thorough. So I'd highly suggest watching those videos. And then the textbook, you know, there was a question as to how to get the textbook. The textbook's basically on, you know, all the prep assignments. So if you go to the prep assignment here for chapter 1 and you go to, I'm just going to hit resume. You go here. So here's Wendy Lightheart's video. She's an instructor at LCC. And then the textbook, you just click that link right there and it's going to bring you to the textbook. And I think LCC's been doing a great job with y'all don't have to pay for a textbook in math classes anymore, pretty much. But this is a really well-written text. I've read the first few chapters. Like I was telling you in my intro, I haven't taken Prob and Stat since like the mid-80s. So it's going to be an interesting deal. And some of the later chapters, the first few chapters I'm good with, but I'm going to be relearning with you on the last few. All right. So that being said, if we look through the notes, basically stats is collection, analysis, interpretation, and presentation of data, and it's broken into 2 parts. The first part is descriptive. So you're organizing it with charts and graphs and numbers, and then you're making inferences, like what can you predict about the population? All righty. So what's a population? Population is a collection of persons, things, or objects under study. Like population could be all the students at LCC. There's a population. And then a sample of students would be like the students in this Math 243 class. You'd be a sample. Probably not a big enough sample to be able to make any useful inferences, but that's what those 2 terms mean. Stop me if you have questions, okay? I'm going to assume it's kind of hard to teach on Zoom since I can't really read your eyes on a screen. Okay, a statistics is a number that represents a property of the sample. A parameter is a number that is a property of the population. Example, the average height of all women in the US is a parameter, and then the average of a randomly selected group would be a statistic. All right, we use statistics to make inferences about parameters. Okay, so they give you an example here. A bond measure failed to pass last year with only 37% of the voters approving the measure. After making some changes to the bond measure, a preliminary study found that of the 200 voters surveyed, 52% said they would vote to approve the bond measure. So which one's the parameter? Which one's the statistic? Well, the parameter is going to be the 37% who voted and approved it. That's the population. And then the statistic is the 52% of the 200 voters surveyed. So the 200 voters surveyed was a sample. The population would be everyone that votes. So a variable, characteristic of interest for a person or a thing in a population. So you got quantitative variables, which are basically numerical, like the height of a person, like the number of kids each person has, or the number of pets. Qualitative variables place each person or thing into a category, like what political party are you in, or what city do you live in, something like that. Data are the actual values of the variable. So length of each nail in millimeters, color of each bead. More key terms. So we got discrete versus continuous. It's very important that we understand the difference between those two terms. Discrete is like a number of books you've read, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're one of my sons, 0. So number of books you read is a discrete. There's a gap in between the numbers. Number of cars in a parking lot. Continuous, if it represents a measurement. So a person's height, right? Because you could be 5'2" and 3/4 inches. You could be 5'2" and 7/8 inches, right? There's all those continuously in between numbers. So that would be considered a continuous quantitative variable. I think that you can download and print the slides, can't we? Because they're PDFs. I linked it up so everyone has access to them now.
Doesn't let me on my end save, and like on your end it shows where you can save it and print it, but on ours it's, or at least on mine, it's
Okay.
grayed out.
Okay, I may have to put those notes on Moodle, so you may have to find them in a different place.
Okay.
For some reason, the My Open Math's not letting me. It only lets me put a link in. It's not letting me put a file in. Moodle will let me put a file in. So I'll do that as soon as we're done. I'll put the first 3 weeks up there on Moodle.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting me know. I had no idea that you couldn't print from what was on My Open Math. All right. Means and proportions. So a mean is an average. So if you have 4 nails, you add them up, add up their lengths, divide by 4, then you have the mean. A proportion is the percent that is a certain color or whatever. Like they say, okay, you have 4 beads there, 3 of them are white and 1 of them's red. So the proportion that are red are 1 out of 4. So which one's qualitative? Well, the table on the right, because colors would be qualitative data, and quantitative is if they're numerical. So lengths of nails would be numerical, so that's quantitative. All right. Is this data qualitative or quantitative? And the answers are all there. I printed out all of the slides from Wendy's slideshow. Like I said, if you watch her slideshow, these red answers show up after you're able to think about them for a minute. So watch her videos. They're really good. You can watch them in double time if you want. I know they're kind of long. So this data is qualitative since each student falls into a category. All right, you got freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors. But everyone's just dropping out or something, I guess. All right, this one's going to be quantitative, number of credit hours completed per student. All right, so you have credit hours completed between 10 and 13 credit hours completed. You got about 250 students or so. All right, it's a discrete data because it's a count. of how many credit hours. You can't have like 5.36 credits, right? It's like 5 credits or 4 credits or 3 credits, so it's discrete. Okay. This data, is it qualitative or quantitative? So part-time versus full-time. So even though there's numbers in there, what we're trying to figure out if the students are part-time students or full-time students. So it is qualitative because those are the two categories that people could fall into. Discrete or continuous? Well, we're not talking about quantitative, so it's neither. And those are pie charts. All right, this is a bar graph. A bar graph are only used for qualitative data. All right, so you have 9,200 people are full-time students at De Anza. Remember, the two things that we're talking about are full-time students or part-time students still, so it is qualitative. Ethnicity of students. What category is missing on this chart? So if you add up all of these bars here, you notice that they're not going to add up to 100%. So there should be an other category. So here they put the other category in. And then they ask, is this chart easy to read? Well, it's not bad, but it might be nice to order them, right? It might be nice to order them into descending order. And I think that's what it does in the next one. So now this chart would be easier to read because we sorted the chart by size. Ethnicity of students is still qualitative. So it's a bar graph. All right, sampling. Now this gets kind of confusing. And there's some questions on the My Open Math prep assignment that kind of quiz you on this. So sampling now, how do we take samples from a population? That's what this is talking about. So you have a random sample. So each member of a population has an equal chance of being selected for the sample. This is the best way to get a good portion of the population where we can make inferences about the whole population. Simple random, each group of n individuals is equally likely to be chosen than any other group of n individuals. That's simple random sampling. Stratified, so they do a nice job of explaining this. You divide the population into groups called strata, then take a proportionate number from each stratum. Like if you're trying to survey students from LCC, maybe you do the stratas are majors. Like what's your focus of study? All right, and then you say you're going to take 5% of each of those groups. That would be stratified sampling. Divide and cluster sampling, divide the population into clusters and then randomly select some of the clusters. So each cluster might be a different area of study, and then maybe you choose like nursing and engineering as your two clusters that you're going to sample. They kind of talk about it right here. So stratification, you have 4 different stratas, and then you're going to take 1/4 of each strata or stratum, and then you get this sample right here. Clustering, you divide the group up into 4 clusters, and you take 1/4 of the clusters, and you get that sample right there. Just a different way of sampling. Questions so far? I'm giving you the short and quick version of Wendy's video. So other sampling, systematic, randomly select a starting point and then take every nth piece of data from a listing of the population. Like you might go to the phone book, for instance. That used to be a thing in my day where you have to look up a phone number in a book. And you can say, okay, I'm going to take the 7th person in the phone book, and then I'm going to take every 1000th person after that, and then that's my sampling. Convenience, use results that are readily available. Like for instance, we might want to do a sampling of students at LCC, and I would survey you guys. And then that would be a convenient sampling. It's not a random sample because I'm just sampling y'all in this class. With replacement, so each person's put back before drawing or choosing again. And then without replacement, each individual is not put back. Okay, then we talk about rounding. So carry your final answer to one more decimal place than was present in the original data. Do not round off any intermediate results if possible. If necessary to round off intermediate results, carry to at least twice as many decimal places as the answer. So this shows mean commute time by state for workers at least 16 years old who are not working at home. If you were to find the mean travel time, how many decimal places should you route to? So you look at all this data and they are all rounded to 1 decimal place. That means when we do the mean, we want to round to 2 decimal places, which is 1 more than anything you see in the chart. And then the last one is a frequency table. So number of times a data value occurs. In this example, they're using rolling a die. So you roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And let's see, how many rolls did we do? We did 8, 9, 10, 15, say we did 20 rolls. All right. So the face on the die was 1, 5 times. So the relative frequency, we do 5 out of 20. That's 25% or 0.25. Cumulative is we just add up the percentages as we go. So 2 comes up 3 times. That's 15% of the time, 3 out of 20. The cumulative is 40% of the time. So that means we got a 1 or a 2, 40% of the time when we roll the die. And you just keep going. Like for 4, you rolled it 5 times. That's 25% again. 75% of the time we rolled anything from 1 through 4. All righty. So what questions that, I mean, no, I know that was really fast, but what questions do we have on that? And I'm looking at the chat too. So if I'm trying to keep up with that. So if you have anything in the chat too. So qualitative is a category. Like for instance, the type of car you drive. Do you drive an SUV? Do you drive a pickup? You drive a sedan, a hatchback? So that would be qualitative data. It falls into a category. Quantitative would be like the number of miles that you've driven. I mean, quantitative. It's got to be a numerical value. Or the number of siblings we all have. That would be a quantitative value. Does that make sense, Estelle? Okay, cool. Yeah, you're welcome. What other questions? I'll switch it over to my open math assignments and we can go through some of those too. But what other questions before I do that? Sun shining outside, I can see. That's nice. It's snowing at my house this morning. It's like it's April 4th. Cut it out already. All right, so let's see. Some of the my open math stuff. For instance, so this is the prep assignment, and I'm doing all the homework along with y'all because I just want to make sure I'm understanding everything, and so I can explain it to you. So let's see. as you look through, let me pause for a few minutes. Why don't you look through that prep assignment and see if you have any questions? Matter of fact, I'm going to stop sharing, and then you can ask me any questions on that prep assignment. Just take a look through it. No, with rounding, you round to one more decimal place than you see in the data. Like if all of the data had 2 decimal places, and you're trying to find the mean of all that data, you're going to round it to 3 places. So you go one more than the number of decimal places you see in the data, the biggest number of decimal places in the data. And you all have the ability to share your screen. So, which is cool. You can share your screen and we can all benefit from questions you have. My Open Math doesn't show any homework links. So, Casey, do you want to show me what you're looking at?
Yeah, how do you do that?
So on the bottom, there's a green button that says share screen.
Okay, yeah.
And then you can just choose the window that's open on your computer that has My Open Math on it. Okay, so let's see, did you submit question right there? Yeah, so hit that. Oh, where's the, oh, you got to finish the prep assignment before you can start the next one. Oh man, I have to fix that. But let's see. Yeah, so I can fix that real quick. Let me see.
Okay.
Because the way it works is it has each assignment's got a prerequisite assignment. So if I go and I set the assignments not to have a prerequisite assignment. All right, try to reload that page now. Yeah, people are going to get confused over that because they're going to think they're done with all the homework, and they won't be. So if you reload the My Open Math page, does that homework show up now?
I logged out and logged back in, and it didn't show up.
And are you in the
It shows up now for me.
What's that, Mallory?
It shows up for me now.
Are you,
Okay.
Casey, are you in the live streaming class or are you in one of the online classes?
I'm the online class.
Okay, so that's why. I got 3 different My Open Math classes going, so I got to do it for all 3 of them.
Oh, okay.
Let me do that real quick. So, oh, so this is good. This is helping everyone. Our meeting here. Okay. And then that one.
Did you say we're just going to go over the homework together?
I think that what we'll just kind of have a question and answer session kind of thing. And if you see anything, you're like, oh man, I have no idea how to even start that problem, then I'd be glad to go over. I can go over my version of it. So then, because the My Open Math, the way it's set up is there's multiple versions of every question. So I can go over my version with you, and that would help you be able to do your version. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to let all three classes know that I gotta switch all those prerequisite. Yeah, thank you for that. All right, so that being said, as you're looking through this homework, what do you see that you like to go over, if anything? I really wish the class was on Thursday, so you would have like 3 days at the beginning of the week to look through stuff first. That would be a lot better, but oh well.
We're allowed to just go ahead and like do whatever in our own time too, aren't we?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And then, Thursday I have the office hour from 4 to 5, so if you think of it, you can come then and ask homework questions too.
Cool.
And then 10 to 10:30 in the morning on Tuesday and Thursday as well. I haven't had any customers yet at that time though. All right, I'm gonna be quiet now and let y'all look through that and see if anything interests you that you'd like to go over.
I don't know, maybe just to get us going, can you want to just go over the first question?
First question on the homework assignment or on the,
Yeah, on the homework assignment.
okay,
Sorry, thank you.
yeah, no problem. So that would be this one right here.
Yeah,
Okay, so the lower class boundary for the first class. Yeah, they didn't really, they must do this in the reading because she doesn't really, this homework isn't really hit in the notes for some reason. But data is collected for 300 fish for the North Atlantic. The length of the fish is summarized in the GFDT below. And the lower class boundary for the first class. So these ranges are the classes. So the lower class boundary for the first class is going to be 60. So it might say, what's the upper class boundary for the last class? And you'd say 164.
so how did you get that answer?
Well, I look at all the classes are,
That's weird, that's not what ours says.
yeah, yours will be
Ours says
something.
our first thing says lengths 100 to 119.
So your answer is going to be 100.
Okay, yeah, because ours is different than what yours says.
Yeah, it will be different because there's multiple versions of every question.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So you got that, so the class bounty, I guess. Because that's, oh, because it says for the first class, so the bounty is the lower number than the.
Yeah, because it says
higher.
lower class boundary. If it said
Okay, gotcha, yeah.
upper class boundary for the first class, I would have put 74, and I think you said 119 for yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so all of us have different questions, because it probably just is like on a,
Yeah, it randomizes, and the way it's set up too, you get 4 tries per question, but then 99 different versions you can do. So if you get it wrong the first time, you could say get a similar question, and then it'll be a totally different question, and you could try it again.
how many chances do you get?
Looks like you get 100. And
Oh, so you can just keep going until you.
yeah, you get 5 tries on each question, but then you could do 100 versions of that question.
Okay.
It's not going to be, it's going to be stricter for the quiz, the test and the midterm. The
I might be
final.
asking silly questions, my first math class in a while.
Oh, that's a great question. Those are great questions. Yeah, the point of the homework is to, have you try until you succeed. And learn from struggles. Might be where they're going over number 2.
Yep.
So 180 people are asked how many siblings they have. 0 siblings happened 35 times. So that relative frequency would be 0.1944. And where they get that is they divide 35 by 180. The cumulative frequency, it's not cumulative relative frequency, so it's not the percentages this time, it's the numbers. So the cumulative frequency actually for this one's going to be 35 because this 35 right here. And you could actually hit enter. If you hit enter, it's going to give you yeah, maybe you got to hit enter at the end because it took away one of my tries. All right, so then we go to this next one, 37. So 37 over 180 gave us 0.2056. And then the cumulative frequency would have been the 35 here plus 37. That's how they come up with 72. So now the next 2 boxes are kind of tricky, but the cumulative frequency in the next one down is 105. So we had to go up by how many to get from 72 to 105? I think we had to go up by 33. So that's going to be this frequency right here is 33. And then the relative frequency, I'd actually have to divide. Let's see. Can we see the calculator at the same time? Can I get a thumbs up if you can see the calculator at the same time? Okay, good. So the relative frequency, then we'd have to do 33 divided by the 180. So throw that into the calculator. It looks like we get 0.1833. So that's going to be 0.1833 there. So I complete the table, and then it says what percentage of the people have exactly 1 sibling. So what percentage of the people have 1 sibling is going to be 0.2056. So we'd actually have to write that as a percentage though. So we're going to do 20.56%. Hopefully we get them all right. The cool thing about MyOpenMath too is it looks like hint frequency tables. So she actually puts hints on there for that. That's one way to get help. Another way to get help is to read, and it links up to the chapter in the book. And the last way, you can message me. So you hit message instructor and you say, hey, Chris, I don't understand what I did wrong on this number. Can you help me out? And then I'll see what you did on that question and I can answer you back via message. All right, y'all want to keep going here? Some of the assignments get pretty long near the in some of the chapters. So we'll see how that works out. Okay, 130 adults with gum disease were asked the number of times per week they use floss before their diagnosis. So we got 130 adults total. So I could make this number, let's see, 100 here, then 11. So this has got to be 111 right here, right? Because I went 100 from here, add 11 is 111. So then 111 plus 19 is 130. So that number's got to be 19. The last thing we got to figure out is the relative frequency there. So I'd go 11 divided by 130. 11 divided by 130. And I get 0.0846. So 0.0846 there. What's the cumulative relative frequency for flossing 5 times per week? So now cumulative relative frequency is the percentage added up. So we actually have to add these 6 percentages up right here. The 6 relative frequencies, we have to add those up, and that's what's going to go down here in that box. So let's see. Point 1231 plus 0.1231 plus 0.0923. Oops. Boogered that up. So then plus 0.1308 plus 0.1462 plus 0.1538. So 0.7693, so 76.93% should be the answer right here. Hey. So that's the way frequency tables work. And let's see if there's any, or what questions before I scroll down to the next one. Okay, what?
Okay, hold on. So I think it's also just confusing to me because I'm looking at yours and then I look at mine and I'm like, how am I gonna find this answer? Because it's asking different questions, you know?
Yeah, you want to share your screen, Mallory, and we'll take a look at it?
How do I do that again? Sorry.
Okay. So on the bottom of the Zoom meeting, there's a green thing that says share screen.
Okay.
And then you would just pick the window that you have your assignment open in. Oh, look at easy money.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess it's just confusing me because I'm just like, because they're different. I'm just like, how would I
Yeah.
find this first one?
So relative, whenever you hear the word relative, it's a percent. So you're gonna, it says 90 adults, so you're gonna actually do 13 divided by 90
Okay, okay.
on your calculator. And then enter that in.
So 0.14 repeated.
So yeah, just put 0.1444.
Like that?
Yeah, and then let's see. Let's see what so the cumulative frequency for that one. Well, how many people are in the first 4 lines then? What's the total number of people in the first 4 lines?
The total amount?
Yeah, the total number of,
The 6?
not the
Oh.
total number, total frequency in the first 4 lines is going to be the cumulative frequency.
You add those up.
Yeah.
So 27? No, that's not right.
Well, 27, so 35 in the first 3 lines. See how 13 plus 14 plus 8,
Yeah.
that equals 35. So that's where that 35 comes from. Now you're going to add another 8 to that.
And why are you adding another 8 though?
Because the number of times flossing per week in the next row is 3, and 8 people have confessed to only flossing 3 times per week. So then you would do 35 plus 8.
Okay. So then we're doing 43.
Yeah. And if you notice, the next number down is 53. And why is it 53? Because it's 43 plus 10.
Okay.
Now, what would the last box be there then?
I don't know, because the 15 confuses me, I guess, 'cause it went up.
But with next to the 7, there's an empty box. So what do you think that's going to be?
7 divided by 90, right?
Well, that would be the relative frequency. Actually, you look at the cumulative here. So 6 times per week, people who floss between 0 and 6 times a week were 80 people. So how many more people then is it going to take you to get to 90?
10.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then cumulative relative frequency for flossing 1 time per week. So you're gonna add those,
Not all those up.
the first 2 numbers in this 3rd column there.
Only the first, oh wait, because it says in the first, yeah,
Yeah, I had to add the first 6 numbers because mine was cumulative for the 5 times per week. But you only have to add the first 2 numbers, which is fortunate.
like 3.
Yeah, but now you're gonna put it in percent form, so 0.3 would be what in percent?
30%.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
there you go.
Yeah, I think I'm just understanding it a little slow, but I'll,
Oh, that's all good.
when I go back and like read the stuff, I'll be better.
Yeah,
I'll stop sharing now. Sorry.
yeah, they the class starts. The class starts pretty slowly, I should say, because we only do the first chapter in the first week, but next week it really picks up. So it kind of gets everyone into the groove as far as the MyOpenMath and, you know, setting up a schedule for themselves. But next week we start hitting it hard, unfortunately. Okay. Anyone else want to have a question on those first few? Or I'll go back to sharing mine and we can run through a couple more. All right, so this next one, find the relative frequency for the class with the lower class limit 35. Excuse me. So the lower class limit of 35 is going to be this last segment here, right? So there's 7 people. Let's see. I forgot I had my annotate thing here. Ready for this? There's 7 people that have the lower class limit of 35. Then how many people are there total? How many students total? So I'd add all those up. Let's see, 10, 20, 22, 28, 32, 39 people. So to find my relative frequency for those 7 people, I'm going to do 7 divided by 39. So let's see what 7 divided by 39 gives us. 7 divided by 39. I get 17.95%. And please pay attention to their rounding, what they require you to round to, because they will mark you wrong a lot of times if you don't round to what they want you to. All right, so that one's not too bad, right? All right, I'm gonna clear and go to the next one. So this one looks like about the same as the others. So 50 part-time students is kind of different because there's a lot of empty boxes this time. There's a lot more empty boxes than in the normal ones. So cumulative frequency, remember, is always how many you add up the column over here until you get to the same row, right? So this is going to be 18. The next one's going to be, there's 15 plus 18 is 33. And then I have to get to 50. See where it says 50 part-time students right there? So 50 part-time students. I'm trying to annotate. And so 50 part-time students right here. That means that this number right here has to be 50. Because the total cumulative frequency has to be 50 at the end. So the last number in that column is always going to be the total number that were surveyed or whatever. So then how many is going to get us from 33 to 50? Well, 17. And then relative frequency, well, luckily it's out of 50. So 15 over 50 is the same as 30 over 100. So that's 0.3. Then 17 over 50 is the same as 34 over 100. So that's 0.34. Those should add up to 1, right? They should add up to 100%. So what percent of students take exactly one course? Well, 0.36, but percent wise, it's going to be 36%. What questions, everybody? Anyone else want to share screen or anything? How did I get the 17 is the question. So I got the 17 because I know that there's 50 total. That's going to make my cumulative frequency in the lower right corner is going to equal that number. So it's going to equal the 50. So basically, then from there, I have to do 50 minus 33 is 17. So that means there's got to be 17 people that are taking 3 courses, because 33 plus 17 equals 50. Does that answer the question, Estelle? Cool. Now I can't get rid of the chat box.
Actually, will you repeat that because I heard it wrong on my end?
Okay, so if you see the 50 goes into the bottom right corner, because it's got to be the same as however many were surveyed, and then you ask yourself, how many people are going to get me from 33 to 50? Well, what do I got to add to 33 to get 50? So you could just do 50 minus 33 and you get 17. That makes sense, Mallory?
Yeah, it's just weird on my end. I have the same question, only different numbers, and I pushed enter and I got all the rest of them right, aside from what percentage of students take exactly one course, and I subtracted 28 from 50 and I got 22, and it said that one was wrong.
Oh, the number of students taking one course is going to be whatever that relative frequency number is,
Which mine was 50.
made into a decimal. Or made into a percent, excuse me. Do you want to share again?
Sure. Sorry.
No problem. Please ask as many questions as you can, because it helps everybody when people ask questions, okay?
You see the right one. So
it should be 32.
And wait, how do we get that again now?
Because it's asking you for what percent of students take exactly one course.
Oh, I just did the math. I was thinking it oppositely, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's that relative frequency, right? Oh, I can't annotate on yours. I guess not, but the relative frequency is 0.32. So that's the percent, 32%.
Okay. I see.
So see, you get another try, so make sure you enter that 32.
Yeah. Now I got it right. I think I just need to go over the definitions better. I wasn't fully paying attention, I think, when you went over the definitions. And so, because I couldn't print it. And
Yeah,
so I think once
Alright.
I do that, I'll understand more.
Yeah, I don't even have a pen with it. I gotta write this. Oh, I do have a pen. Okay, so I gotta write a couple. I gotta post notes to Moodle so they can be downloaded and printed. And then I need to get rid of all the prerequisites. And then we'll be good, I think. And then message the classes and let them know. Here we go. All right. Estelle, did you get that other question answered? What did you do to get the answer to B? I'm just seeing that question now. So are you good on that last one? Okay. Let's see. So back to these right here, these are, I'm looking at them, they should be easy, but they're kind of tricky because you always lose count. So we have 30 lottery winners and they want you to separate them into groups. So how many people of these 30 lottery winners were between 20 and 29 years of age? So you just go into your data set and you count them. So it's going to be different for you all, but for me, 1, 2, 3. Oh, it looks like they're in order. That makes it easier. So 3 of mine are between 20 and 29. Then 30 to 39, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 40 to 49, 1, 2, 3, 4. 50 to 59, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 60 to 69, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 70 to 79, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then only one old fart was a lottery winner. Oh man, that's going to be recorded. Me saying old fart, that's not good. All right. So that one's not bad, I hope. And then the last one is another frequency distribution. In a student survey, 52 part-time students were asked how many courses they were taking this term. The incomplete results are shown below. Round your answer to 4 decimal places. So my first box, the 3 frequencies have to add up to the total number of people surveyed. So these 3 have to add up to 52. Well, these 2 add up to 29. So I got to have another 23 to get me to 52. Okay, my relative frequency here is going to be 13 divided by 52. So 13 divided by 52. So my relative frequency for that row is 0.25. My cumulative frequency, I would add the 23 and the 13 together. So 23 and 13 is 36. What percent take exactly 3 courses? Well, that's going to be the relative frequency for row 3 right there. So 30.77.
How did you get the middle relative frequency again?
I took the 13 right there. I took 13 and divided by the total number surveyed. So I did 13 divided by 52.
Thank you.
Can you all hear my computer's fan? I apologize for that. I don't know what the heck's wrong with this thing. It's loud. All right, well, I'm going to stop sharing and then just chill out now that we've gone through all of the questions kind of. And then I'll let you all, pipe in. You can share your screen if you run across any you're having a hard time with. And like I said, the class is optional to come to, so if you don't want to stick around, you don't have to stick around either. But there it is. I'm gonna mute myself, and then if you have a question, you can share your screen or say, hey, I have a question. Okay.
What was your answer for the last question? The percentage of students, you got that by adding up the total relative frequency?
The very last answer, Mallory.
Yeah,
I just, that row 3, mine had 0.3077. So I just put it in a percent form, so 30.77%. So yours may ask about a different row. So you just gotta pay attention to what row it's asking for.
oh, okay.
Got it?
I think so, because mine says what percentage is, I'll share my screen, I guess.
Okay.
So mine says what percentage of students take exactly one course though, so that actually should have been 29%, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just looked at it. I guess I looked at it wrong.
It's
I'm
okay.
not the best at math, so I'm really just making sure I'm watching my ass here.
Yeah, this is a,
So thanks for it going with my question.
no worries. So let's make sure it works. So just put the 29.27. Make sure we're good.
Sorry. 29%.
Well, it might make you do the 29.27. Because
29.
it's that,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's the relative frequency of the number of courses being won.
So I want to put it as 0.2927.
No, you want to put it as 29.27%.
Gotcha.
And you're getting it from, let's see, here, I can annotate.
That worked.
You're getting it from here.
I guess I was just assuming, right. I guess I was just assuming I was just rounding up the whole way.
Right.
But
Yeah,
Nope.
when in doubt, just give all the numbers.
gotcha. Thank you. So I guess I'll just ask this question real fast. So there's all the homework assignments, and then I assume there's a test at some point, right?
Gotta unmute myself. We have a midterm in week 6.
Okay.
That's gonna be the only thing that whole week. And
So
then
it's really
what's that?
So it's just really the homework and then the midterm at the end.
The whole
At the
midterm week
mid-
6 and then a final week the last week.
Cool.
And the midterm, you'll have like a window of a full week to do it. And the final, because grades have to be in earlier than you think. For the final, you'll only have to Thursday night in finals week. But for the midterm, you'll have until Sunday night of that week. And
Sweet,
Sunday's the last day of the week, yeah.
I can't recall if I saw it in your syllabus or if you said it already, but are the midterm exams or the final exams going to be proctored, or is it just through MyOpenMath?
It's through MyOpenMath.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of you're on your honor policy. I mean, you may need this stuff later in your school career, so it behooves you to learn it, right?
Well, thanks a lot. I'm out of here then.
Okay, thank you, Mallory. See ya.
Yeah.
Thank you again for all your help.
Yeah, no problem, Casey. Thank you. See ya.
I'm gonna take off as well, but thanks for your
All
time,
right.
Chris.
All right, thank you, Amanda. See you later.
Yeah. Bye.
Estelle, how's life been treating you? Good. Did you graduate last year or the year before? From Churchill? Yeah, I wish it worked too. Maybe we'll get it figured out for next time. Last year, okay. I wish we were able to offer this class at Churchill, but I think we're gonna try to next year. Cause it's required for most majors. Are you full-time student at LCC? Yeah, good. I'm glad you're pleasantly surprised. I've never taught this class before, so I was surprised that they offered it to me. But it's gonna be fun. What are you studying? Oh, wow, that's awesome. Good for you. All right, I'll let you work on homework now and keep my mouth shut. Excellent. All right, Estelle, hope you have a great day too. We'll see you next week. Thank you.